YouTube, we are back again with our YCS cheating review. Now, big disclaimer, cheating is defined by the head judge only, no one else. You get disqualified if you're caught cheating. You don't get a game loss for cheating. And as far as I know, no one within the event got disqualified for cheating. In this video today, someone gets game lost. Let's go.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
First off, let's start on this, which was not a part of the event, but just happened as my stream was starting. I have not watched this myself. This happened all the time back in my day. People would look at the bottom of their deck or the bottom of our own deck. So what you do is you cut the deck for your opponent, and then you give them back their deck. And if you're playing against a little kid, 100% chance they're just gonna be like, look at the bottom and then put their deck. They're not supposed to be freaking doing that. This guy's clearly looking at the bottom of his freaking deck. And then, apparently, you have to zoom in even more. What's worse is it looks like he's drawing from the bottom of the deck. Let's look at the more zoomed in version here. Come on. Woo! That is 100% from the bottom of the deck. Look at that. Look at that. See, if you're asking for some reason, why would you do this? Well, he knows what the bottom of his deck is, so he's drawing from the bottom. This is a very common trick with sleight of hand where you draw from the bottom of your freaking deck. Ain't no way. He grabs the bottom card, then the top card. Now, as far as I know, this guy did get disqualified for cheating. And I guess because he only saw one card at the bottom, he only wanted to grab one card from the bottom of the deck. W Konami Asia. Konami Asia. Player Raviel was found cheated from the match. He is disqualified from the final, and the place is replaced by Melvin Sundoro. And if we look closely at his badge, it does say Raviel, right? Yeah, Raviel, and then caught cheating, and exactly as I said earlier, the head judge determines it and then bans you. Now, that's right, this is Triff. I'm sorry, we're gonna have to call some things out. Triff will be the first instance of our YCS review here. And I've been told that judges are impartial, all right? They are perfect beacons of impartiality, and they are definitely not biased at all. They're everyone's friends. They're not specifically the opponent's friend. Let's see what happens here.
But he has won 2 ICSs since then.
Hey.
The second one he won,
Hey. Damn.
But he has won 2 ICSs
Hey,
since
let's
then.
go.
He actually won just last week.
the second one he won, he actually told me he
It's a really good idea to be friends with a head judge. I mean, good on Triff. That's great. And I'm letting this play out to showcase that Alex knows he's screwed.
So I'm not sure
Gianna was like, no way. The judge is going to high-five Alex also. So let this play out. Alex, I am done for. And I think Alex actually beats Triff in this match. I'm not exactly sure what happened to the friendship here, but he needs to find a better judge to befriend. Well done. All right. So what do we have here? Fossil Dyna just got banned in the TCG for this reason. Mitsurugi does not use up their normal summon, so they could search it with the Granite, then normal summon it. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Lightning Storm the back row. He's going to negate it. Now we're under the effect of Dimensional Fissure, and he also cannot special summon. Fossil Dyna is going to prevent the Mitsurugi from coming back. Wipe it out, and then he passed. So let's read these effects real quick. Neither player can special summon monsters while he controls this face up on the field. If this card is tributed, you could add one Mitsurugi card from your deck to your hand and then special summon this card. The question is, can you activate this card when it gets banished and you're not able to special summon? Yes, it's still a legal activation. It's not mandatory. You simply search, you then can't special summon, and then you go from there. But he does pass. So this is a misplay, not an illegal play that happened. Let's further go. Dark Ruler no more. Now, this gets quite complicated with Mitsurugi. Let's see why that's the case. Everything negated. We now can special summon. Activates Prayers. He's going to tribute off his monster. Now, Prayers is a quite complex card. It is very interesting. Let's read the card of Prayers. Now, with these two cards, Dark Lord no More states that your opponent takes no damage. If you learned anything from the word then, if what happens before then does not happen, then after then never happens. This specifically states take 800 damage, then you could special summon. With the Dark Lord no more, you take no damage. Some people, they kind of have the right mindset of how this works, and they say, okay, you don't have to apply both effects. Now, I'm telling you, you could still apply the second effect. It tries to resolve. You just simply take no damage, then you don't special summon the Mitsurugi. So that is the situation that is going on here. So let's see how this plays out.
I believe the raising on damage from West Turn, but I don't have a Dark Ruler no more in front of me.
This is where they're just discussing.
Can you activate the second effect of prayers because you can or cannot take damage? That's an interesting question here. Will my MC actually summon anything? Yes, I'll activate the effect.
Thankfully, there's a lot of judge intervention here on making sure that the gameplay is being played properly. He's asking the judge, right, he doesn't actually get to reborn because he can't take damage. That's true. Was he even allowed to tribute his monster? You are still allowed to tribute. There's another ruling that's going to come up here, the bigger ruling. Now he activates Ghost Belle, because what's happening is the Futsu is triggering to come back onto the field. If you were to just commonly tell me what do the Mitsurugis do, you'd say, oh, they go to the graveyard, they then come back. You're kind of right, but you're also wrong. It does not specify graveyard. It's simply if it's tributed. Still comes back if it's banished. But now there's a possibility that could also come back from the graveyard, right? Well, let's read the Ghost Belle as he illegally activated the Ghost Belle. Ghost Belle states that adding from the graveyard, special summoning from the graveyard, or banishing from the graveyard. When banished activating, it's not going to be coming from the graveyard whatsoever. If you can't Ghost Belle it when it's banished coming back, even though it has the possibility to come from the graveyard, maybe there's some weird scenario where if it's activating in graveyard, you also can't Ghost Belle it. You can. Because it's activating from the graveyard, it gains the tag of in the graveyard, activating an effect that special summons from the grave. Now it gets even a little more convoluted if the Futsu activates in graveyard, but it was not properly summoned, meaning it will not special summon. There's no possible way it gets reborn from the graveyard. Can you Ghost Belle that? What do you think? From my hand, I tribute the Futsu. It activates a search with the option to reborn, but it's not possible to reborn. The answer is you could Ghost Belle it. You could still Ghost Belle it since it still has the tag of activating in the graveyard to reborn from the graveyard, even though it cannot reborn from the graveyard since it was improperly summoned. That is why it would not come back, but you could still Ghost Belle it. This is an illegal activation of the Ghost Belle. Now, the Mitsurugi player accepts it, and then the judge does jump in, thankfully, to take it back. All right. This is something you all should very easily be able to see. He's going to send 2 of his monsters to the graveyard, a 6 and a 4 for the Chaos Angel. Chaos Angel is going to be targeting the middle card to be banished. And we are going to be flipping up our Draco Tail trap. What is this trap that we are flipping up, targeting the Chaos Angel with? So let's look at the Draco Tail breakdown. The trap is this one, Draco Tail Horn. Target an attack position monster, and on the resolution, you return it to the hand/extra. Then you can place a Draco Tail from your graveyard to the or banishment to the bottom of the deck, accept a Draco Tail Horn, then draw 1 card, meaning you could Ash Blossom this. You could also even Ghost Belle this, and it's not going to be able to get the effect of drawing.
Is it Horn? Looks like you did slide into Horn for transaction effect.
Setting a rollback with the lady. So we're chaining the lady to the trap.
From your opponent's
And the lady's also channeling block in the fusion from popping an additional card in the field.
graveyard.
You can draw, yeah, you can draw. I'm certainly curious about that case. Is that transactional back here? Yeah. This goes to that. Oh, maybe he presumes.
All right, Chaos Angel's gone. Resolve the chain fully. Everything's resolved. Now, what illegally happened here? It is up to both players to maintain a proper game state. You and your opponent, even if it works against you, you're supposed to help out your opponent to have a fair game. Well, why is that card not banished? Very simply, the card's not banished. He did not get negated. Nothing else negated it. They simply forgot. I'm not going to say Matthew's cheating from thinking that his card should have been banished and the other player did not push it to get banished. Very simply, he has a card that should be banished after his Chaos Angel did not get negated. And I think a lot of people would have the mindset of, it's your fault if you forget. And if you do have that mindset, I want you to imagine that you have a little brother, a little sister. Do you want them to play against an experienced player that's conveniently forgetting to resolve the game state correctly in the favor of your younger sibling at every moment? Oh, I'm just forgetting. Activating Shirakusai during the opponent's turn here. Let's sync her up. Up. Boom. MK2, damn, what'd that card do? The opponent's reading the wrong card, by the way. That's not the card you should be reading. Oh, wow, this card's great. Holy crap, banishes my dinosaurs? They need to be in graveyard? All right, well, sure, do it. He's gonna activate his MK2, and it has the ability to banish that Dirac. it's off the field. And what he accomplished here is he denied his opponent from being able to summon the ability to go into a Drac Meteor. This is the core of the deck. The Meteor is going to be when Synchro Summon destroy all cards on the field, and you do it through the small Dirac setting up the Dirac Astero. What actually happened? How did he get cheated? Sometimes cheats or illegal plays are misunderstandings. When you're performing an illegal play with a common play with your deck and it's later in the day, have you been doing it all day? That's when you have to consider, are you actually malicious? What's going on here? This is not a rare situation here. During your opponent's turn, you can pay 600 life. Immediately after this effect resolves, Synchro Summon a Synchro monster using monsters you control as material, except I forgot to mention, it has to be a punk. Psychic Blaster. I don't think if you even rearrange all the letters, you could even spell out punk with this. And there you go. During the main phase, you could banish a monster from your graveyard and then target one other face-up monster on the field. Banish it. You will not be summoning your Dirac Meteor. And I guess this is our common play we've been doing all day. The main reason why we're probably even playing a card like Psychic Blaster MK2. We may be under the perception of this being a legal play, thus we built our deck incorrectly to perform this illegal play continually. And does it get caught? No, it does not. I don't think judges even care to watch Genesis. Sadly, they don't care to cast it. It's not being casted, no one's watching it, just the camera's rolling, and then people walked away. Jeff Jones is a super OG top tier player back in the day, and I'm sure he's still top tier. He is, of course, going to be playing Mitsurugi. Let's activate Mitsurugi Prayers, mate. Let's freaking go. And it gets Ash. Ash negates the prayers, and then let's now get to the issue. 7 minutes later. I'm not trying to make up narratives here, but we have to take all things into consideration. We're now thinking about making a play. We're making the thonk face.
Yeah. Wow.
Should I? I don't know. Oof. Activate prayers.
But looks like we are just going to do
All
some
right.
straight
The opponent nods. It's fine. Tributes. Now, mind you, there are cards that exist with multiple effects, and you can activate the card more than once. Let me give you an example of that. The Yummy Surprise. A lot of people, every time someone activates a second copy, they think they're probably cheating. They have to double read it. You can activate one of these effects. You can only use each effect once per turn. With 2 copies of the Yummy Surprise, you can activate both, but you have to activate the separate effects, and you declare which effect you're activating. Now, Prayers works differently. If I activate Prayers, I don't tell you that I'm adding. I don't tell you that I'm trying to reborn. It is chosen on the resolution. This states you can only activate 1 Mitsurugi Prayers per turn, where we saw the Yummy Surprise. You can only use each effect of this card's name once per turn. Now, in what instance could you activate a second Prayers? You actually can in some plays. But for this instance where we Ash Blossomed the Prayers and then we activate a second copy, that is definitely an illegal play. And we're gonna see what comes from that. The way where Prayers would be activatable again, Belle and Ash Blossom. Negate the effect. If we read Belle, negate the activation. That is completely different. If you Ghost Spell this, I now can activate a second copy of Prayers. Let's now skip into the inevitable scoop because of how powerful double Prayers. Obviously, I'm joking. He probably would have won nonetheless. The caster has something to say about the duel.
4 cards. He's out of this duel.
Scoop it.
Yeah, he was like, Jeff, your combo was so cool. I don't want to show you mine until I can go first.
Wow. Okay, so Jeff Jones takes the first game of round 4 here in his feature match win. Wry little smile there, knowing, okay, I showed everybody what the good stuff is.
Takes game 1 with a smile. I showed everybody what the good stuff is.
Let's see what happens for the rest of the tournament.
Starting with the game 9 cards, giving him action.
Now, let's see what else. Let's see what's not good, all right? Purge. Where do we activate the Purge? Okay, let's just double check that.
For sure.
By the name of Explorer, correct?
Purge, negate, no search for you, mate. So the duel is 1-0, correct? All right, we're gonna have to do a big jump. Just verifying, this is the same duel, correct? We activate Purge in the hand. Ash, negate, your search, fully accept it, mate. All right, we cheated. Rest of the duel. After activating this from the hand, you cannot activate Ash. Water, dark, you can't make a Little Knight play. Ain't no way. you are not allowed to do that, even if it's 20 minutes later in the freaking duel. This is one of the great benefits of not having to remember when you play a game like Master Duel instead. What if he knew that he wasn't allowed to activate Ashe? I'm just gonna be real with you. It is called soft cheating. I know people say cheating is cheating, soft cheating, hard cheating, regular cheating, it's cheating. You have to differentiate the existence of soft cheating, meaning that if you attempt to do what I call soft cheating, you're not gonna get in trouble in most cases unless the judge definitively can define your intent, that you knew for a fact you couldn't activate the Ashe and you activate the Ashe. You knew for a fact you couldn't activate the second prayers, but you activate it anyway. Of course, in the end, it will be just a warning, and this is why I think it's very important. What if he knows he's doing this and you catch them? Is it petty to call a judge? You're gonna be a social pariah? Yeah, no one's gonna like you, but who cares? You're here to have a good event. Call a judge, get them that warning so they are not trying it. For all you know, it's their 5th time doing that to a player today, you being the 5th, and they now are going to be on the edge and know to not do that for the rest of the event. By the way, in this video today, someone gets game lost. We will be showcasing that later. I've never seen a game loss happen in a freaking feature match. Usually the judge hops in, just fixes the situation, but no. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna activate our Draco Tail fusion spell. Now, let's look at the Draco Tail deck type breakdown here. Any of the monsters, we'll click on the breakdown here. The Rahu Draco Tail. Fusion summon a Draco Tail from your extra deck using monsters from your hand, deck, and or field as material. Activates, waiting for the opponent to respond. Do you have a play?
I create my side deck.
Okay, there you go.
Picks up her deck, dumps a card from the deck.
Yeah, as a 0-point card that does take down my continuous building traps, it's definitely very useful.
Yep. And
Oh.
okay, so
What just happened? She just took everything back after activating her card. Well, why is that? What she wanted to summon was the Draco Tail Arthalion. Now, she realized that all 3 copies, or because this is Genesis, she just didn't have another copy within her extra deck, thus she took the card back. Now, this is an issue for multiple instances. So the claim of the activation of the Rahu Draco Tail is that it was an illegal activation. You just take it back. What if it wasn't illegal? Now, if you read this fusion requirement, 1 Draco Tail plus a monster in the hand, let's read the other one. 1 Draco Tail plus a monster in the hand. So that means, because this is Genesis, the spots on the extra deck, maybe you have more room to just throw these in because you're not gonna have enough room for better extra deck monsters, and then you would not be allowed to take this card back. What should the scenario have been is, I think the other player should have simply asked her, see if she would honestly answer, you activated this with the intent to summon the Arthalion, but it's a legal activation if you have this card instead. Even though I know you don't want to summon this, can you confirm to me that you don't have another copy of this, and then we play from there? Let me tell you why this could be very bad. I'm not saying she did this. Striker Dragon. I summon Striker Dragon, I activate on summon. Let's say you imperm, you Ashe this, you want to cut me off from searching for the field spell. Well, normally people only play 1 field spell. So if they already have the field spell in their hand and they just fished for an activation from you, now I get to activate the field spell afterward. I ate up your Ashe, I ate up your imperm, and I already know what most people are thinking. DK, that's so obvious. Yeah, until you're playing against someone it's not obvious to. What if you catch them? Oh, my bad, I actually have the field spell in hand. It's a normal thing I do. I always activate this on summon. That is fishing for an activation. Back in my day, you couldn't really check for this. We had a card called Doom Caliber Knight. Mandatory. If a monster effect is activated, you must tribute this card, you must negate the activation and destroy that monster. You lose your Doom Caliber Knight. Bogart Knight, when this card is normal summoned, you can special summon an X-Saber from the hand. If you don't have an X-Saber in the hand, they have a Doom Caliber Knight, you summon this, you illegally activate it, it gets negated and destroyed, okay, and then you play from there. You now outed a Doom Caliber Knight. That's an example. Now let me give you a modern day example. I set my MTP, I normal summon a Chessie, I activate Chessie Cat. Guess what? I have no malice in my hand. Well, aren't you obviously gonna get caught? If you don't imperm it, what I'm gonna do is, ideally you imperm it, all right? You activate imperm, great, you negated my Chessie Cat. Or I dodge it with the MTP. Now, the scenario where I can make this illegal activation seem legal is I activate Chessie, you don't respond, I chain MTP. MTP, banish the Chessie, search for a malice, I now banish that malice, I now draw 2. So I fish out for your impermanence. Now, if I were playing legally, what would have happened? I would summon Chessie, I can't activate, it's illegal. I flip MTP, banish it, it comes back, I search my card, I now legally activate Chessie, you then imperm my Chessie, and then I lose. So this is an example of winning with an illegal play that the opponent can't even really verifiably check without getting a judge involved. And I think for this instance, a judge is gonna say, you don't really have a good reason for calling a judge here. You can't be calling us to try to resolve every effect. You have to have some level of trust with your opponent, and then they could get away with that. In the Chessie example, she had a card to make the illegal activation legal. She has a trap card that she could have chained to the spell to return her extra deck monster back in the extra deck, and then it would have legally resolved. You don't declare on the fusion activation what you're summoning, you choose on resolution, and your choice can change. In your mind, you want to summon one, but the opponent does something, they do another thing, and then by the time you resolve it, you know what, now I want to summon something else. This is truly complex on an illegal activation, turning it legally, but she did take it back, she didn't chain her trap, but watch her now make the illegally activatable card become a legal activation later, and then the opponent now decides to make a different play, where initially he just allowed it. So this trap is going to be returning her fusion back into the extra deck. She's going to be banishing from his graveyard. Resolve it. There you go. Puts the Draco Tail to the extra deck, and now she will be able to legally activate. She now activates, and he negates. Negate. Wait. When it was an illegal activation, you let it go through, we rewound, I made it legal, and now you want to negate it. In this instance, if she did have the intent to cheat, it would have been immensely beneficial for her to, do you have a response to the spell that's illegal? No, I have no response. Okay, I chained the trap to make it legal, returning it, and now you're not negating it because now it's fully going through, but now that he knows her intent to summon the monster that's going to return multiple monsters on the field and her graveyard back to the hand, now he's choosing to set up a negate before that potential play, and it's now gone. Everything just completely changed there. And I think because she didn't chain the trap, that she definitely did not intend to cheat, but then there's still the question of, are you playing a third of the other fusion in your extra deck where it maybe in fact was a legal activation? What we have here is the Nash Knight has the ability to attach a monster on the field to it. What could be quite complicated here is this Snatchy Link 1 has the quick effect to perform a synchro. So what we're going to do is we're going to special summon our Cupsy to activate and search our deck for a card. He is fearing that if he waits for him to perform a synchro summon, the synchro could respond to the activation, jumping off the field to reborn 2 bodies from the graveyard.
He's looking to try and go into a synchro 2 potentially, but Luis knows that.
So he's chaining to the Cupsy. I want to non-target suck you.
A response to the Nash Knight. He's going to chain the others.
He's going to chain to target his 2 monsters to return 2 cards the opponent controls back to the hand.
Surprise due to the all-powerful Beacon School, which can push to a lot of
Target,
directions.
target.
Yeah, that's great use of Yummy Surprise. It does force the Regulus to activate.
Target these two and these two.
I mean, I think you have to negate this Regulus here.
Darion does have the effect to negate the effect of returning my monsters back, so now we know that the suck is going to happen.
He has anything to chain, and he is
He's chaining a synchro. He's performing a synchro summon.
Onto the field.
All right, let's go.
And now he's going to go.
Now what's going to happen here is all the synchros activate on summon. They either flip monsters face down, they reborn from the grave, or they search the deck. Because they're going to get good sucked before the chain ends, it's not going to even activate. They're going to lose the on-summon trigger. They're also going to lose the effect of being able to jump off the field to dodge any form of disruption to then reborn bodies from the grave. We're about to get really illegal here. Sway. Attach. Boom. Attach. Okay. Field spell, normal stuff. When a monster leaves the field, you're going to also be summoning from the deck. Oh crap, let me read this. And now he's going to be able to pop off from here.
Now looks like the Akroki's going to resolve the special summon out of Marshmallow Yummy.
Marshmallow. Oh my Jesus. All right, we cheated. We don't have to go on from here. All right, so what is the cheat here? Let's read this. This states that if a face-up monster control leaves the field by an opponent's card effect, you could special summon 1 Yummy monster from your deck. And then we had the Ash Knight. The Nash Knight is attaching a monster, so that is the issue here. Is a monster leaving the field when being attached as a material? Attaching material is the same as essentially making 2 monsters into an Xyz. You would have to then say that when you perform an Xyz summon, the monsters that you're using for the Xyz are leaving the field. Do you know how broken that'd be? What if I Xyz summon with absolute 0? So I overlay absolute 0, it now triggers to wipe their fields. What if I Xyz summon with Tengu? Leaves the field, special a Tengu, okay, overlay Tengu, Tengu activates, summon a Tengu from the deck. That is not how that works. That is why this does not trigger. This goes deep. I think they end up correcting maybe 10 minutes later. They have to go back to the casters. I think the judges are now reading the Twitch chat, and when the Twitch chat's freaking out saying, that's illegal, that does not trigger, what the heck's going on? And then I'm gonna give you some additional rulings on the Nash Knight that are beneficial. If I chain Book of Moon, flip the Nash Knight face down, it will still attach the card. If I chain make the Nash Knight leave the field, the monster that we wanted to attach will stay there, doesn't go to the graveyard, everything's fine. But if I anima is equipping, not attaching. So if I am activating to equip your monster, you chain Compulse, you chain something to destroy my anima, it leaves the field. What do you think happens to equip? The monster you want to attach would stay there, but the monster you want to equip will go to the graveyard. So there is a different ruling on attaching versus equipping. I think a good way to remember why it's not leaving the field, it's not the act of your monster leaving, it's the act of your monster becoming an Xyz material. Becoming versus leaving. Becoming an Xyz material is not leaving. Ooh, this is an interesting one. This guy makes a very smart play,
so we're gonna activate the spell card.
but it's cheating. The Kidu Draco Tail has an additional effect. In addition to searching your deck, if your opponent controls a monster, you could also perform a fusion summon. So it is ideal that they do have a body on the field on the resolution of this card.
But I think we're gonna see that Prime Drill Beam. Yeah, there it is.
We're gonna chain Drill Beam. Drill Beam, target the Kidu, banish it off the field. There's cards that negate effects, and then there's cards that negate cards. Drill Beam is a card that negates the card. Do it, do it. Droplet.
Droplet, removing the catcher from the board.
Okay.
That can't be Drill Beam. I believe Drill Beam does target.
It does.
Oh.
It's like infinite permanent, so if I can't
Boom. Drill Beam does target the card, and because it's no longer in the field, you send by cost for the Droplet. We're going to be dodging the Drill Beam. Very smart play, if it were cheating. What was cheating here is he wants to gain multiple benefits of the Droplet. How Droplet works is the opponent cannot respond with a card type to the card types that you send from your hand, field to the graveyard, and by sending a spell and a monster, we're locking down the Spirit Dragon. The Spirit Dragon can't respond, jump off the field. The Drill Beam, if you have another spell card, you can't respond. You can if you wanted to. You could chain the True Light, and then you could chain the Spirit Dragon to your own True Light. That would be a legal play here. This is not even a legal activation. I want you to understand, if you ever get dropleted, I promise you this will save you 1 out of 100 droplets. Understand that Droplet, when it sends cards to the graveyard to negate monster on the field, it only properly resolves if it negates the same amount of monsters that you sent to the graveyard for the cost. Meaning that if I have 2 monsters, you send 2 cards, I chain an effect where I only have 1 monster, Droplet now does nothing. It does not negate the 1 monster. With what I'm telling you, you cannot overpay the cost. Hopefully they catch this, I forget.
You can only set as many monsters as they have.
That's right. You're totally
Oops, okay. So can't do that. My B. All right, there you go. It looks like they were looking at a judge. A judge did help them out with that. Good on the judge for being on top of the game. But again, if you're on table 500, you don't have a little judge with you. The judge is a Yu-Gi-Oh! Simulator. The judge is the Master Duel client telling you or just making sure the effects are applied correctly. Now, this very cool boss monster, the Vengeance Diablo Star, let's read what she does real quick. The Vengeance Diablo Star here, and by the way, some people are asking, how do you get the activation and the condition highlight on Yu-Gi-Oh! Meta or Master Duel Meta? You just, while logged in, go to your settings. It's this, show condition and activation highlights, bam, boom, and you now can better read the cards. Pay half your life points, target a card the opponent controls, destroy it. Then, if another Diabelle monster is on the field, you can special summon a Tuner Synchro Illusioner Spellcaster from your extra deck. Very powerful. So you're activating to pop the field spell.
And that Diabelle monster on the field, you can special summon a Tuner Synchro monster, Illusioner Spellcaster.
Boom, pop it. And we have another Diablo Star alongside us, so we get to special summon onto the field. The Brasilla.
He is.
Let me get to legal play. Here we go. Here's the non-target destroy of a card in the field.
All right, now the Force Release is going to be activated to try and turn.
We don't know until resolution what he's
Pulling
destroying.
that back was a good way to play around the Droplet that John was forced to activate earlier in the turn, because now he's about to have the Werewolf in play.
Boom.
Plus he's able to strike card.
Popped,
Werewolf is-
take
Werewolf
down
is on
the
top.
face down Deception Sinful. Very good. Mind you, this match, there is a match loss, game loss for
Destroy Deception back.
repeated
Goes down,
defenses.
add a card from the graveyard to the hand.
So we're just getting to the end phase. We're just ending his turn. Deception, set. He's got no cards in his hand. What's very powerful about his field here is he has the Diabelle Synchro. If the opponent activates anything, you could send a spell trap from your hand or field to the graveyard, special summon a level 7 or lower Tuner Synchro from the extra deck, graveyard, or banishment.
Did he reset that Deception? I'm pretty sure Deception has to be destroyed while face up, or sent to the graveyard while face up.
You hear Billy? Now, I thought casters were allowed to interfere with the duels. I don't know why Billy didn't. Maybe he was questioning himself. He didn't really know for sure, but Billy points out the illegal play.
My turn?
Yep.
Draw phase?
Listen,
Stand by
Did he
me?
reset that Deception?
yes.
I'm pretty sure Deception has to be destroyed while face up, or sent to the graveyard while face up on the field, but
That is true. Let's confirm Billy's suspicions here. Only if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there from the spell and trap zone while face up, you could set it. Because the dude has no card in the hand, and he now has a set spell that should not be there, one illegal play now snowballs into even more illegal plays, because what do you think is going to happen next? We can now illegally activate the Diablo Star with an illegally set card, but then we're not done being illegal. From the illegally set card with an illegal activation, we also then perform a third illegal play. All right, in response to you activating, I'm going to... What are we doing here? We're doing it in response to the spell that, what does it do? It non-target destroys a card in the field. It is actually when White Force comes out with the canines, you do want to prioritize, get the Rusilla out so that your cards can't be destroyed. Very smart.
looks like you might be using Werewolf's Effect.
So finish.
All right, belle. We're still thinking about a non-target destroy here. I don't want to get destroyed.
Looks like he's thinking about returning.
Boom, Rusilla.
To the field.
So now we
But that
can't
Bell's
destroy the
right.
Rusilla because the Rusilla is going to be protected from
No, he's trying to
destruction.
destroy it, but it can't be destroyed by card effects, so Rusilla is just going to be on the field here.
Look at his face when he tries to destroy a card that can't be destroyed because it is that much of a hidden effect. He is not very happy about that.
Okay, can't be destroyed by a card. Okay.
All right, you got me with your stupid card effect. Sure, whatever. Now, what if I told you the illegally set Deception, if it were not illegal, if it was properly set, and then the illegally activated Diablo Star was a legal activation, that this Rusilla should not even be there? This card was illegally summoned. Beyond the point of illegally having the cost to summon it, it cannot be summoned from the graveyard because it was not properly summoned. So do separate the other illegal plays from this one. It cannot be reborn from the graveyard in any way unless you have something ignoring the summoning conditions here. So this is not even possible to reborn. Normally, what you'd be thinking is, why didn't he just summon a Silva, right? Silva is the better card to be summoning here. The problem is he's destroying a card non-targeting. So if we were to summon the Silva, it would be destroyed on the resolution of the non-target destruction. She wouldn't even activate to flip the field face down. Knowing that our regular play is this one, we instead properly, the smarter play, Rusilla, but improperly because it's illegal, summoning it from the freaking graveyard. We're just stacking up the illegal plays here. So now Anthony's feeling stupid. He's like, damn, I just got. I didn't read your card. The most basic part of Yu-Gi-Oh! Reading the opponent's cards, and I paid the price trying to destroy a card that can't be destroyed. Oh, well, there is a correction actually.
Double data deck. Now the judge is
Hey,
ready to Rusilla.
you can't do that.
I don't know. I just feel like the duel should continue going forward.
The judge is intervening with an improperly summoned card that shouldn't even be attempted to be summoned to begin with because the Deception should not even be in the back row, which is the cost to even summon this card.
Brought up by vengeance.
Because they're just double checking, make sure everything's okay.
So the judge is only like half attentive
That's
here.
for sure.
Yet Billy caught that card shouldn't have even been set in the back row, which caused all of this to even happen. He then summons this card instead. Let's hop into another duel because all freaking 3 games are illegal plays. This duel starts off common. We activate the field spell. Field spell is nuts. We're going to be getting that soon, maybe by November, I think. We're hard coping. When this card's activated, you play 3 of this. It's a combo starter. Add a White Force from your deck to your hand, but you cannot special summon Dark Monsters from the extra deck. First time a White Force would be destroyed. It is not destroyed. You could target a White Force control. It is treated as a tuner this turn, so change the tuner, search your deck. Ain't no way. Great. Now that we started the duel, let's get a little bit further into some illegalities here. What's about to happen is, I think, the most common way to cheat with this deck.
And now finally, now Deception as well. He's going to be face up. He's going to attribute
And,
Stellar to set
you know,
as
you can
Vita.
argue that if it's your deck, you should know the ins and outs of your deck, especially it's Swiss round 13 of 14.
As Amina can send
And
spoils
he's a
card.
10-2 record, so I believe he should be qualifying for the top cut. If he wins this round and the next round, he would be in the top 8.
Count if he's gonna start
Amina,
with
we know
first.
about this card, right? This was with the Sinful Spoil, Snake Eye. We were summoning this.
Let me pull up which.
Caught him right away. Good on Anthony. And This is an instance where, okay, we're in a feature match, we're out of a judge. This is where I would call the judge and not tell him why I'm calling the judge, just to get a small little warning on it. I'm not trying to get a free win. I just want to ensure fair play. And if I put my opponent on notice that they should not make any other illegal plays for the rest of the duel, it further puts me at ease to know that we're going to likely be playing in a much more fair duel from here on out.
So, you're correct.
What he tried to do here was the field spell simply states that you cannot special summon dark monsters specifically from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, and these of course are dark monsters. Saint Azamina, Rosalago, and Sylvia. So what you have to do is you look at your opening hand, you think, can I summon these first and then activate the field spell afterward? But if you initiate with the field spell, you of course cannot, and it's only from the extra deck, can you not summon a dark monster from the extra deck? We did attempt to do so. Good on Anthony for catching it. Let's go into the final game. So that was game 2.
I think Anthony's in trouble because it's going to be hard to fight through this without using a monster effect.
I think Anthony's in trouble, the caster says.
Which force is going to be activated, letting Sean
Now,
add
mind you,
a monster.
Anthony knows how the
Locked
field
out
spell
a dark
works.
monster.
We will have a
As we
different
saw
type
in
of
the
an illegal play
previous
within this
game.
duel,
Add a
right?
Wells going to send the Black
game 3,
Witch
1 and
to
1.
Set
Let's go.
Activate.
Hollowed Azamina
Activate.
Can be activated to send the Deception, to summon Murasagio.
Send Deception.
Can't summon a dark though, right?
Oh yeah,
He
he's locked
played-
out of Darks again.
This
He's
is-
locked out of Darks again.
This is the same thing that
Anthony,
happened
you
in the
caught it
previous
last
game.
time.
Anthony! Anthony, no! You caught it last time!
Caught it last time,
yeah,
Anthony.
you field spelled this.
And it's the
Anthony!
same PE
Yes, he did. He
minor.
started GS out.
Oh, yep.
He's
Oh, let me rewind the game state.
still
Oh,
locked
my
out of
bad.
Darks.
Whoops.
It's the same.
Okay. Hey, let me return it back.
I also forgot about it too.
They had an extension
Okay.
in the middle of the
Yeah,
turn. and
Let
it
me
was a-
rewind the
it was
game
a long
state.
turn.
It's the same.
Oh, my bad. Let's replay this.
He's sitting on nothing now.
Judges says, hell nah, you are not rewinding, bro. This is like your 4th, 5th time trying to cheat illegally. This is a game loss. It's a match loss. You're done, buddy. Get out.
He just has the Deception. He has a Hollowed Azamina he can't use. They might.
Whoa,
yeah,
I
they might
can't-
upgrade it to
I
a
can't
game monster,
rewind?
But he's pretty much gonna lose anyway. That's tough. That's
Okay. And
that's
he
a tough
does
way
get
to
game
lose.
lost. He does not. He tried. It was a good attempt to reverse the game state and try to play from there, but how much is enough? It's one thing that Anthony caught him on the first time. It is your deck, your responsibility. What? Many of you want to maybe understand, why did Konami have to perform an emergency ban list? I think that this has happened at least twice, where a duel in a tournament has made the game look so bad that Konami immediately responds with a ban list. This happened with the Barrier Statue of the Wind at a Japanese YCS, where the opposing player couldn't make a single play. It made the game look like absolute trash, and then on the subsequent ban list, they hit the Barrier Statue. With that in mind, this is why we had an emergency ban list. This is, I think, the most disgraceful display of Yu-Gi-Oh! I have seen in a long time. We are in the grand finale, best of 3. It goes all 3 duels, so it's close games, right? Well, every single duel, there's no turn 2. The turn 2 player does not activate a single card within turn 2, to the point where, well, you're going to see.
Negation as well. And he
This is all turn 1.
Back
Vanishes.
to the inclusion.
Another synchro summon for F8 on Dragster.
Now we can get a spell as well.
Does he play a card?
So he has multiple negate.
Nope, doesn't play a card, scoops it up right away. And this is because of Mjolnir. The freaking Mjolnir is locking them out. Now, you didn't see Mjolnir on the field because he sucked it up with the Cyber Dragon Infinity. It activated the effect of, until the end of the next turn, you can't special summon except artifact monsters, draw for the turn, scoop it up.
It's multiple ways to
Now,
stop it.
so
Cam's
game
not gonna
1,
be able to out-
0
Mjolnir
plays on
game
turn
number
2.
one.
Let's hop into game 2.
Win.
To negate a card
All right, hey, at least he's not floodgating, right? He only has 20 negates.
that
It's okay.
Yamal activates.
Draw for turn.
So he's
Draw
in
for turn.
a commanding
Turn
position,
2.
it looks like.
Play something.
Yeah, both players
Do something.
really drawing extremely well for going first, not having to
Something.
deal with too much interaction, even though Kamal
He's thinking.
had the answers to Cam's things in game number
I
1.
concede.
but that's it.
Not a
I was
single
gonna say
play.
Game number 2, and these
What?
players are not having too much
Okay,
interaction
game
on their
3.
second
Maybe
turn
there'll be
there,
a play
not
on
drawing
turn
the
2.
field-breaking.
Now, he has a chance here. Cameron Neal's got a good play. Get ready.
And Soul for door.
Adds a copy of Sulfur Door to the hand, or to the graveyard.
So the Sulfonier is very important. It is important for destroying the Majolnir in your back row to get it in the graveyard, because you got to think, we have to make it so the Dagda could set the artifact, and then you need a card to destroy it or send it to the grave, and this is the main way to do so. We're going to properly use our Ghost spell to stop that play. Stop him from even reborning and getting it in grave.
Trying to use the Ghost Bell here.
Woo! Call with the Grave fingers the bell. Now, Call with the Grave is using alt art. It looks a bit ridiculous. And players love floodgates, so they're cheering.
Hide the grave and use it instead.
Yay, he's gonna floodgate him.
See anymore. He's gonna
He's conceded. He didn't even start his turn 2. That didn't even draw for the turn. He has nowhere to be. It's the grand finale. He knew that he could draw any card off the top of his deck and it would still be game. Floodgate game 1, Floodgate game 3, 20 disruptions turn game 2. There was no turn 2 play from either player in all 3 games. And we're cheering like this was good Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, obviously we're cheering because congratulations to him for winning the YCS, but
absolutely
damn, that's sad. If I saw this in a One Piece tournament, a Pokemon tournament, we'd all be making fun of it. We'd be like, stay away from that trash game. But this is in Yu-Gi-Oh! And apparently it's okay. Well, according to Konami, it wasn't okay because the emergency ban listed this. He was at our locals? Oh, okay. We didn't regularly go to Cool Stuff, but we sometimes went to Cool Stuff games, and he was a player at Cool Stuff. Very nice. There you go. That was the YCS Anaheim illegal cheating plays. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully this was informative for you. Again, we're not here to harass the players or say that we are cheating. We're just having a good time and also learning, trying to make this as entertaining and as informative as possible. I appreciate you for watching. Let's go.